If you're looking to navigate capital crunches in business, where the capital in your business is crunching in on you, you thought your business was doing one thing, you thought it was going one way, things took a turn for the worse, you didn't expect it, and now all of a sudden, what was coming in is not enough to make sure that you stay in business. This video is for you. All right, welcome back to Speak Life, where we're sowing seeds today for tomorrow's harvest. It's Mark Mead. I'm excited to get into part 2 of overcoming financial obstacles in business. Part 1, we got some great feedback on. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your comments. And I appreciate the fact that we're able to get into part 2 because there's a lot of cool things that we're going to cover today. And I want to talk about what we left off at, capital crunch in business. Like when you're dealing in business, there's going to be a lot of times where you're dealing with a capital crunch and it feels like the capital that you have to work with is closing in on you. Your burn rate is higher than what might be coming in, or your burn rate is high and what's coming in is not that much more. It could be a lot more, but you have an unexpected expense or expenses in business, and you find yourself in a place 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, you were soaring, you were rolling. And all of a sudden, this thing starts crunching on you. Maybe you lose a key employee or a key team, or you made a move that you thought was going to be a good move and it ended up backfiring on you in a way that you didn't expect. And all of a sudden, you're scrambling and you're trying to find an answer. Capital crunches in business are real. I want to help you walk through this thing. So when you think about your business and it rolling, and you're talking about the ability to fight your way through capital crunching on you, there are ways to do this. You can obviously get a loan. Okay. You can obviously try to bring in more revenue. You can obviously try to create a partnership that will bring in more revenue. There are various ways you can handle this. I'm going to go low level, talking to, someone who might be in a capital crunch and needs to move quickly. I remember looking at a situation where I had, staff, I had operating expenses, a lot of marketing and advertising expenses. And I was at a position where I was like trying to figure out how to push revenue higher, but I was in a position where my expenses were kind of cemented in. We were moving some things around, and we were at a place where things had worked out for so long a certain way that it was time to change, but I didn't know it yet. So I was in the business. I don't even think I was on the business at the point. I was in the business. It's rolling, revenue's rolling in, it's moving. And we got to a stage in business where the thing that I banked my life on changed. And I didn't realize it changed. And my ego wouldn't let me see that it changed. And we just kept trying to drive the same situation. By the way, business changes over time. No, it's a guarantee. It's a fact. The only thing that's a guarantee in business, it will change. It's going to evolutionize. It's going to evolve, and things are going to seem different over time. And it's not always the market. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes technology takes business to another place. Sometimes the people change. Sometimes, and the people could change, not meaning like I had person X and now this person's no longer with me. I have person Y. Person X can change. They can change. And so I found myself in this place where the thing that we rode pretty hard and crushed it with changed. And so my finances were changing slowly, and I didn't realize that either. I got myself to a place where I'm spending X amount to run the business, and less and less is coming, less and less I'm able to keep. And it was because we were focused on spending the same or more capital on our advertising and on our people, expecting revenue to go up. but we were spending more on advertising, spending more on people. Revenue stayed the same. It wasn't even that revenue really shrunk. It was that revenue stayed the same. What we were loading up on was no longer giving us the same multiple of return. And so we were in a capital crunch. And I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And there's many times I've been in that position. A lot of times I've outworked it and just, found a way to cut expenses in the business and then cut some of my expenses in my personal life where like I don't need to take as much from the business. I'm going to not do that. There's other times where I needed to go get a loan and I needed to get my hands on some capital. And so for this particular time that I'm speaking of, I had to go grab $200,000. Not grab like I had $200,000. I didn't have $200,000. I was able to get a loan from a bank for $200,000 with this kind of funky payback plan. Sometimes you spend more. Sometimes you over leverage what you loan from an interest rate standpoint because you need the money now. Look, I can walk you through a lot of different things. At the end of the day, I do want you to understand you have to weigh all your risk in business. So I was at this position. I weighed my risk. When I first saw the deal, I thought it was 7% daily interest. I was like, I'm not doing this. This is crazy. And the bank called me and goes, hey, any reason why you're not taking advantage of this loan? I'm like, because it's 7% daily interest. That'll put me out of business. And he said to me, he goes, that's not 7% daily interest. That's 7% annum, 7% annual interest. We just take money back daily. So it was my bank. And I'm like, say that again. Like, say that again. He said it again. I said, walk me through this thing. And I'm realizing I can borrow $200,000 for 7%. I'm like, every day of the week. What day? Where can I sign up? And so I figured that out. That really gave me a push in business that I needed. I was able to pay that money back eventually, but at the end of the day, it gave me the ability to stretch. And what I did was I used that to pay immediate funds. I kept a lot of it. I didn't need it all. I didn't need a full 200 to survive. I kept a lot of it. I paid some immediate things, and then it bought me time to go get a business line of credit at good interest rates. That was a $500,000 line to pay that off, and I had the money at better interest rates. And so this is a real situation in business that I walked through that I'm giving to you so that maybe one day it's something you see and you're looking at, because when you're in a capital crunch, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can certainly fight your way out. The number one rule in business is stay in business. So survive, find a way. That gave me life. Then the line of credit gave me life. Then the business, we recalibrated the business because we also realized we were overspending in places we didn't need to overspend. We cut expenses a lot. So you see the oxygen that was created because of one situation where I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I needed more money to survive. As I got that money, I paid some things, I learned some things. I realized, hey, we did an analysis on the business. We didn't need as much money going out in advertising that we were doing. We shrunk that. We're getting the same revenue. And we paid this money back with cheaper money and stayed alive. And then we were thriving again. So you understand, like, this is rocky. It's like being in the ocean and all of a sudden the waves just start crashing against the boat. Your job at that moment in time is to navigate the wheel. You're not looking to, triumph the storm. You're looking to survive. So I need you to understand these are real situations in business. Now, as we recalibrate the business, we might want to do a raise. We might want to raise capital, right? We might want to do a raise because we might realize, hey, we're back to par. We're back to basics. Maybe we're out of survival mode. Maybe we're in striving mode. We might not be in thriving mode. We might be in thriving mode. We might have pushed right through strive into thrive. And what we want to do is now do a capital raise because we know more murky waters are coming. Why? Because they come, not because even the forecast is telling us that. Sometimes we're forecasting murky waters, and sometimes we just know, hey, we're in business. How do you think this is going to work? You know that the capital crunch is coming again, so you might want to do a raise. And you might want to do a capital raise and start looking at, valuations of where you're at and who wants to invest in your business for a percentage of the business. You're always looking to stabilize the business. Look, perfect scenario. It's 75 degrees, sunny, no waves on the water, and the boat's chilling. We're rolling right down the ocean. Sometimes the night, sometimes a wolf howls, sometimes a wind blows, stuff happens. So we're always looking to kind of stabilize and get to a place of complete functionality without, playing whack-a-mole on the business. And one thing is popped and nothing's popping up, another thing, we got it. All right, so back to revenue forecasting. So we are now stabilized. We're now looking to get back to revenue forecasting as we're forecasting revenue, because look, the goal is to grow the business. So we want to forecast revenue so that we can position ourselves to grow the revenue in the business. And what do we need to do that? What do we need to forecast? What do we need to grow the revenue in our forecast? What are we looking at? Are we looking at 6 months, 12 months, 24 months? Let's look at a 12 to 24 month plan to forecast revenue on a business that we stabilized when we were in a capital crunch, okay? Because as you get oxygen in business, you want to fuel that oxygen or fuel the future with vision and with forecasting. And so now we're forecasting again. And so we look at the next 12 to 24 months, and it depends on obviously what you're selling. I'll use my business insurance, and I'll say, all right, cool. We have 100 agents right now selling every single month. That's doing, $1 million in sales a month, and we're looking to get this thing to $2 million a month within the next 12 months. We want to double our output. Does that mean we need to double the agents? Probably not. It probably means we need to go from 100 agents selling with us to 150 agents selling with us. That's a recruitment plan. That is a onboarding plan. That is a training plan. And that is a retention plan. All of this is our forecasting. If we grow the business from 100 agents to 250 agents, you better believe our sales go up. You better believe our revenue is going to go up. And so now we're starting to forecast revenue for the next 12 months and see exactly what we can do. You're in no different position in your business, depending on what you're selling, depending on what your product or service is. And so as we're forecasting revenue, now we want to fund the growth. You're not going to get growth you're not growing 150% organically. It's just and organically means that you just word of mouth. Now, again, if you're really small, sure. But I'm saying let's spend some money to make some money. Let's fund the growth. In order for me to go from 100 agents selling to 250 agents selling a month, I may need to hire more recruiters. I may need to run more ads. You think ads are free? I may need to bring in some biz dev specialists who can help train. I may need to take some of my managers and give them more of the business so that they have the room to grow. And so we may make a little less on the same volume, but we're playing for the future. And so understand we need to now fund the growth. That's all taking money out of pocket and putting it into the business so you can grow the business. When we start dealing, now we have a real business, it's generating real revenue, and we're dealing with the reporting side of the business. We got to deal with real reports. A lot of people are running around with faulty reports. They don't know their numbers. They don't know the revenue. They don't know how much came in today. They have no idea how much came in last week. They have no how much came in last month. They don't know how much their business sold. They have no idea what sales look like, who sold what. I'm like, what? I got it. If you're in the business, sometimes it's difficult, but you have to set the time aside, late night, early morning, just to look at the financial reporting on your business. How do you not know your numbers? I'm not saying obsess over the numbers all day, and I'm not even telling you to hire a CPA for the business. That's expensive. But you can get your CPA. You can get a bookkeeper, which is an inexpensive way and also a very productive way. You could run QuickBooks on your own. There's a lot of tools you can use to win, but you've got to have your reporting down. You got to know. Otherwise, The revenue forecasting is a joke. You're not forecasting tomorrow if you don't know your numbers today. That doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. We've got these things that are in front of us. And then again, we've always got, so you always want to keep your head on a swivel because you never know when the unexpected is going to take place. You never know when the unexpected is going to come through like a hurricane, or when it's going to come through in a situation that you were not prepared for. And that happens all the time. Don't feel embarrassed when you get knocked on your head. Number one, these are the best learning opportunities. But number two, it happens to all of us. Like, nobody's above reproach on getting avalanched from the West when they thought it was coming from the East. Like, it happens. And so you've got to just be prepared and like, don't overthink it, but you got to stay in the game. And so when unexpected expenses or unexpected things in business, an unexpected slow or turn in your sales or numbers comes, you got to keep your head on a swivel and you've got to figure out how to navigate through your deal. I'm hoping that this is giving you a vision on what it looks like day to day, month to month in a business, quarter to quarter, and how to navigate a little bit practically on the ground, high level. And then, listen, we can continuously go deeper and deeper and deeper on this topic, but I didn't want to leave this untouched. We work with a lot of new entrepreneurs. We work with a lot of small businesses that have hit a brick wall, and just are trying to figure it out. It means a lot to us that you guys are watching and subscribing, commenting. It means a lot. So if there's anything we can do to continue to help you on your journey in business, anything that we can do to make these points clearer, please put it in the comments and let us know. But we are trying to help provide value to you in business as we continue to overcome financial obstacles in business. It's not a game. It's not a joke. This is real stuff, and we really deal with this on the day-to-day in business. So I hope this is bringing value to you. God bless. If you like that kind of video with practical advice, practical tools on what you can do and use in your business, please subscribe to this channel. We're looking to bring as much value as possible to you, our end listener. We appreciate the time that you took to view the video. It means a lot to us. Let's have a conversation in the comment section about what it is you like. What are some things you've experienced in business? Have you experienced a capital crunch? Are you feeling like you might be experiencing a capital crunch, or you might be experiencing one in the future? This stuff is real, and I do want to bring as many business-minded individuals to this channel so we can get information and share best practices with one another. If you like that video, you're gonna love part one, because part one got into a lot of the nuts and bolts that led us to part two. It's a two-part series. We really appreciate the fact that you guys took time to listen to it. Take care and God bless.